What makes a game legendary? Is it expert use of technical advancement that results in cutting-edge graphics? Is it an innovative form of gameplay that changes games within its genre forever? Is it a well-written, engaging, memorable story? Or successfully doing something that no one thought could ever be done? I think to earn its title as a genre-defining, history-making, legendary game, a game needs to see all those and meet all those as its criteria. When, off the top of my head, I think of some games widely considered to have done that, I think of Ocarina of Time, Half-Life, Final Fantasy VII, Breath of the Wild, Baldur's Gate 3, even though I don't personally enjoy it, and of course, Super Mario 64. Hello, welcome to H7 Bus. My name is Nathaniel Welch, and this is Video Game pReviewer. In this video, we'll be talking about Super Mario 64, which I played on the Wii U. If you have a Wii U with Super Mario 64 already installed, I think it's a great way to play the game. Everything looks good and controls as you'd expect. You also have access to a digital version of the game's original manual, as well as restore points, quick saves. I don't recommend using restore points on your first playthrough, but since this wasn't my first, I did use a few when trying to get some of the trickier 100 coin stars. Unfortunately, the Wii U's eShop has been closed for almost 2 years now, so if you don't have Mario 64 on there already, you can't download or play it, but it is available on Nintendo Switch, or you could always find and buy the old N64 version if you've got the hardware for it. Alright, let's talk Mario 64. So, what's the game about? Princess Peach, the ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom, bakes a cake for our hero Mario and invites him over to have some. Upon his arrival to Peach's castle, to his surprise, Mario learns that the princess has been captured by the evil King Bowser, and that Bowser has taken over the castle and hidden all its power stars. In order to save Princess Peach and save the Toads trapped inside the castle walls, Mario must journey through paintings that act as portals to other worlds, collect all 120 power stars, and defeat Bowser, all in order to save the Mushroom Kingdom. Thanks, Mario. Someone's got to do it. I guess as far as legendary plots are concerned, this one is pretty simple. But that's how Mario has always been. The story exists to facilitate the gameplay rather than to determine it. And that's not to say it's not memorable or influential. Sure, it isn't fundamentally different from most Mario games, but it introduced power stars to the franchise, which Bowser is using to create some acid trip boss worlds for you to fight in. And the in-game explanation for the camera system is that you're being filmed by some reporters known as the Lakitu Bros. Yeah, it's not very complicated, but it's engaging enough, and it makes sense. While working on the original Star Fox for the SNES, Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, first came up with the idea for a 3D Mario game. Come N64, after a development cycle over 2 to 3 times longer than most games at the time, Super Mario 64 was finally released in Japan on June 23, 1996, and in North America on September 29, 1996. It scored a 94 out of 100 on Metacritic, and received much praise at the time for its clean graphics, 3D gameplay, water levels, and replayability. Its music is also quite popular, and though it would probably be criticized for its multi-use of tunes nowadays, was hardly a problem back then. The one thing that was not universally enjoyed at release was the camera. That's on you, Lakitu, and we'll talk about that later. Though many reviewers found it to either not be a problem or to be acceptable given the depth to which Mario 64 was trying to innovate. It won multiple Game of the Year awards, is the best-selling N64 game of all time, spawned many successors, was eventually remade for the DS, and catapulted Mario even further into greatness than he already was. Before the release of the Wii U, and how I barely knew how to use and barely was on the internet at the time, I didn't know much about the N64, its catalog, or its history. I had one, but it was exclusively broken out to play Spider-Man alone, or GoldenEye with friends. My first encounter with Mario 64 was at a boys' lock-in my church was having. One of the older kids, who was thought by us all to be the best Smash Bros. Brawl player ever, brought his N64 to the event. To start off the night, maybe a half dozen of us found ourselves in a back room watching this legend perform the iconic infinite stair skip and defeat Bowser once and for all. It was incredible, and I'd probably never seen any 3D Mario gameplay at this point in my life. I had a Wii, but I didn't have Galaxy, and besides handhelds, I was a PS2 and PS3 kid. I realized I needed to check the game out eventually. I ended up getting it on my DS, although I don't actually know if I knew that it was the same game at the time, or just another 3D Mario. Anyway, I got surprisingly far for myself, if my memory serves me right, until I left it and maybe 20 other DS games at a hotel in Dallas. Thought I must have put them in my bag rather than my carry-on, but boy was I wrong. The Wii U was and is a great console, and that's where the majority of my time with Mario 64 has been spent. I bought it on Virtual Console and didn't beat it for years, but for sure played those first 7 levels and got the first 50 stars multiple times. After getting fed up with cutscenes while trying to find a way to relax from my job at the time, I decided in December of 2022 that I'd finally try to beat Super Mario 64. I did, and I loved it. And after getting all 120 stars, I decided that wasn't enough, and went on to slowly complete Galaxy throughout the whole of the next year. Mario 64 will always have a special place in my heart, as I know it does in those of many others. I find it relaxing to play, interesting to talk about, and infinitely easy to just pick up and enjoy. Why is Super Mario 64 so enjoyable? Well, to start, it's fun to look at. Fun is the key word with this game, and Mario 64 is full of bright colors and interesting worlds. The graphics look funny to our 4K eyes nowadays, but they were obviously incredible for the time, and you can tell. And I don't just mean by comparing it to a Genesis game or something. You can figure the game's high level of polish by observing the consistency in its world design. Every level has a clear theme. They've got their own entrance, creatures, colors, and scale. It's all intentionally designed. No textures are really worse than others. Every room and tree has a purpose, and though creature and object draw distance can be pretty low, you can see across one side of the level to the other. That's a great design choice. I can see it, and I can go there. Mario's got style, hair, and a big 3D face to mess around with in the menu. And again, bright colors. I'm not saying Mario games need bright colors, or that all games need bright colors, but if you compare it to something that's pretty desaturated like Ocarina of Time, it looks pretty happy. And I'm sure that was intentional. Something odd is that you will at times see 2D sprites trying to pretend like they belong in the 3D world, which they don't, though they look fine. You don't see that in Ocarina of Time, but you do in Mario Kart 64. I have no evidence for this, but I wonder if the visual style of Mario was more intensive on the N64 than Zelda's, and that's why we got both Pixel Mans and Blocky Mans. Most likely, Nintendo just knew how to better utilize their hardware by the time they made OOT, but I still think compared to Zelda, Mario can actually get away with the 2D, 3D thing. And again, I like how distinct the levels are. There aren't too many of each visual style, and I like that we get some variety here. The only thing we're missing is something tropical. But the N64 had Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo-Kazooie for that. The hub world looks great too. I'm glad it wasn't just a level select screen, but Mario does those good anyway. Overall, everything is clean and easy to see. No AA needed. The HUD tells you what you need to know, water isn't too opaque, and sand looks like sand. Stuff pops visually but isn't overwhelming, and Mario lets us know he's fighting for peace whenever he gets a star. After getting a star, Mario gives a little celebration as well. And when he gets hit, he lets out an oof that can go all 12 rounds in the ring with the Roblox death sound. The game has voice acting, very little, which was still rare at the time. Noises sound different from other noises, why wouldn't they? And you can tell them apart. You know when you're at low health, when Mario is having a great time doing his Jumpman thing, and when a piranha plant wants your overalls for dinner. Sounds are consistent and memorable, which, through time spent with the game, results in conditioning, doing a great job at telling you how to feel and what to expect. You just got a star. Here's some dopamine. You're drowning or dying. Get some coins, bro. And you just got one. By the way, this music means this is a water level, and this track means you're about to race. Although I wish there were more tunes so there'd be more variety in the levels, what songs are present I do like. And the game's sound design as a whole is good. We've come to expect polish and excellence in every regard from Mario and Nintendo games as a whole at this point. And this game being so highly praised is surely partly responsible for the bar we and they hold themselves to. A good listening experience is something I feel rarely has enough attention brought to it in video games. Usually, if everything sounds good, no one notices, as it doesn't distract them from the gameplay in a negative way. If a song is very good or beautiful, it'll generally only positively influence a scene, even if it stands out. But if it sucks, you'll notice. I think some video game soundtracks contain some of the greatest songs ever written. They just don't have enough ears on them. Mario 64 doesn't have any of those, although the main theme and Dire Dire Docks are wonderful. But you'll enjoy most all the music and will probably not actually get tired of any of it. With games, what you should never get tired of is the gameplay. Maybe you can for a bit, but after a few days off, should surely want to come back and play. Because it's fun, and it's supposed to be. So, is Mario 64 fun? What kind of question is that? It's legendary for a reason, dude. Nuff said. But actually, I came to this game after getting tired of expensive yet unpolished games taking the controller out of my hands to show me a half-baked yet obviously well voice acted cutscene that possibly ruined the pacing of a level and may or may not have been unnecessary to the story. Hello, modern games industry problems, and what are you doing in this video? My relationship with narrative games has since healed, but only with the well-made ones. Yet, it's crazy to me that playing a game from 1996 feels refreshing, like it knows something we don't. Make your controls tight, consistent, easy to learn, possible to master, and responsive. Go for challenging but not unfair level and enemy design. Give the player room to experiment. And don't be afraid to give them more than one way to solve a problem if they've got the skill for it. Ask yourself whether or not an activity will be genuinely fun or monotonous before you put it in your game. Because Mario 64 certainly did. He controls really well. His movements are predictable. You really feel that you can perfect your hops, jumps, and dives. Mario punches and air kicks goons in this game. He can't 180 on a dime, and that will get you killed a handful of times in your playthrough. But usually if something goes wrong, it was either your fault or one of the 3 poorly placed enemies in the game. Which you're not always fighting either. The game's main progression mechanic has you visiting and revisiting worlds to complete different objectives that will earn you a power star. Some are easy and some are hard. Some require you to collect 8 red colored coins. Some require you to beat a boss, do some good platforming, fly around after possibly shooting yourself out of a cannon, or use your noggin to earn that star. If the game's ever frustrating, it's not for very long. And I find it legitimately hard to stay angry playing this game. Maybe I should play it when I'm angry. The only good on paper, mediocre in practice recurring challenge in this game are each level's 100 coin star. Each level has a total of 6 different challenges to complete, but you can earn a secret 7th star in each by collecting 100 coins. Sometimes this is actually really fun, but a few levels just don't have enough coins in them, so you'll get all 100 out of like 104. It's too monotonous to be enjoyable, which is why they added more coins in retrospect to each level in the DS remake. I still think it's worth getting all the stars though, just as it's worth dealing with the crap camera. I boldly stated in some piece of content that I produced, I don't remember what, that I didn't have problems with Mario 64's camera because I'd played the game long enough and had gotten used to it. People historically complain about Dark Souls and Monster Hunter's cameras, and those don't bother me one bit, again, because of the hours I've spent with them. I've spent much more time playing games from those franchises than I've spent with Mario 64. Yet, something that has never happened with them, that has happened with Mario, is that I've ungotten comfortable with the camera. I've played too much, to where it's now difficult to control again, and I don't understand what happened. You can manage fine for 92% of the game, but 6% of the leftover time may require some constant camera adjusting strategy, and for the last 2%, you'll just be guessing, and will forget that you're playing Mario and not getting over it. The game's too good to not play because of a few aged mechanics. I think it's worth finding your fun in. And if you're having trouble finding out what to do, or where to go, there are a lot of hints around. You probably will stop using them eventually, but they're there to be helpful. All of Mario 64's text and writing is good, it makes sense, the translation is good, it's a game without cutscenes, made for kids, pink bob-ombs are chill to talk to, and seriously, the message you receive for fully completing the game makes playing it all worth it, even though it already was. You may find that weird, but I think it's a special moment, and something I wish would become the norm in modern games. I don't ever need a huge completion bonus. If I've beaten your entire game, I probably don't care to have one at all. I've enjoyed myself plenty. But a heartfelt message from the developers can mean so much to a player. Within the first hour of Super Mario 64, you can seriously tell that a lot of heart went into the game. It's got a quick opening, and immediately you'll find yourself wanting to explore the castle, look around outside it, and see what its magic paintings contain. If this game had a 30-minute demo, it'd be well liked for how good of a grasp of the early game you can get, and would also be enough for speedrunners to beat it. Mario 64 is a great speed game. It's so fun to watch, and that's because it's extremely broken in the hands of speedrunners and extremely polished in the hands of casuals. What more could you ask for? Anyway, you'll feel welcomed to start this very amazing adventure right after booting it up, and if you have fun with its beginning, you'll have fun all the way to its end.
Alright, well, guess it's finally time to do this. Oh, I have no choice now. Okay. I'll just get the Switch first. Start there. Okay, we've done it. Yay. Okay, let's see how this goes. Come on, just with your hands. Okay. I missed some over here. Okay, down here, down here. Nope. Alright. Okay, these two. Okay. Okay. There's still hope. There's still hope. Go up, go up, go up, go up. Up, up, up. Okay. Nope, we're not going up. Okay. 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 It's not gonna happen. So I think I need to go to the left first after I pick these up because they're higher up, and that way I can just ever so slowly glide down. Just very chill. Okay, missed them. That's fine. I'll come back around. Don't go down too far, Mario. Alright. Okay. How did I miss that? For real this time. Third time's the charm. Okay, I need you to level out, Mario. Level out, okay. You gotta go back down. Come up, come up. Chill. Chill. This is it. Surely. Surely it's gotta be. Alright. Stay level. Alright. Hey, there's hope. There's hope. Come on. Come on. This is the Dark Souls of Mario Red Coins. Of Red Coin Stars. Everyone loves that expression, right? You know, everyone's got something they're bad at in each game, right? I feel like I am pretty good at 3D Mario. But not the wing cap. How do I miss that? Come on. Come on. Okay. I thought we were doomed. I was getting so close to hitting the ground pound. Come on. Come on, finally. Finally. No, I can't get it. Okay, this is it, for real. No question. Man, honestly, easier than I thought this would be. Just get back on the platform. There we are. Finally. Now I can... Okay, just get the star. Great.
So, at the end of our journey, what have we learned? How has the story of Super Mario 64 influenced and changed us? Well, it's not that kind of game. But Mario's good attitude and zero hesitation to be heroic can inspire us a little bit. Be kind and polite to others. Help those in need. Keep your promises. Finish what you start. Make the right choice, even if it's the harder one. Remember that you can't do everything on your own. No man is an island. Even Mario needed help from Bob-ombs and other folks on his journey. Challenge and support those you love, and don't be afraid to let them support you. And also, have fun. Don't spend too much time waiting for a game to get good if you don't think you'll enjoy it. And it's important to see where we came from every once in a while. Gaming has come a long way, and Mario 64 is still good. That is an understatement. Super Mario 64 is legendary for a reason. It innovated the world of platformers and changed gaming as we know it, just like its older brother Super Mario Bros. On the NES. It's a fun game that, yes, has some flaws, and I feel needs to be judged with both an age-friendly perspective and modern critical look, as it's still relevant to this day. If you haven't played it and have means to, what are you waiting for? Games like this don't come out often. While playing it, you'll feel nostalgic, even if it's your first time playing it, and you get to enjoy fun platforming, and a cheery mushroom world. Super Mario 64 is a great game, and I give it a 9 out of 10 rating. And it's legendary for a reason. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more video game previewers, then you should like and subscribe, because there'll always be more on the way. What did you think about Super Mario 64? Let me know in the comments. God bless.